Hey everybody, you're listening to the Fake Book Club podcast, where we talk about everything from movies, music, life, and occasionally the books we're reading. Follow us wherever you find your podcasts. I hope you enjoy the show. I am Tabrizia, and I will be the lead host for today's episode, and I'm here today with my co-hosts, and they can go around and introduce themselves.
Evelyn.
Tessa is here.
Chris.
And best of all, Whitney.
Oh my god. So before we get started, I want to mention that we are not affiliated nor sponsored by any brands or labels we may talk about during this recording as of yet. So why don't we kick it off with our first topic. What is new with everyone at the moment? And why don't we start off with Whitney?
Okay, so as we all know, Bridgerton season 3 came out on Thursday. I had to binge it full, kind of like a setup before I get into it. I had to go upstate for, my dad got an award, awesome. And my brother took me home in his fancy BMW, which I'm just like, woo. And he gave me a really fancy coffee maker. And so we drove down on Thursdays, so I didn't get to watch it as soon as I woke up. But it was only 4 episodes.
Yeah, they're
so
only doing half the
splitting
season.
it in half, yeah.
Capitalism. Capitalism.
It's to make sure you keep the Netflix
Exactly.
subscription for at least 2 months.
They don't
At
do
least.
that. They don't release the episodes like they used to anymore.
I'm not against it though. I don't like binging on
Yeah.
that level. I have things to do.
No.
I
I will
don't have
gladly
things to
binge.
do that
Yeah,
way.
like I'll gladly binge 24 episodes in a row.
Oh no, I
I
can't.
would.
My attention span, like, isn't accurate.
You know what? And then I will get into it. I do struggle. Lately, I've been struggling in general with watching and completing things.
Oh yeah.
And it's just been super hard to. So if it's not Murder, She Wrote and Law and Order, don't ask me to do anything. But with that said, season 3 of Bridgerton, this is the, for me, long-awaited Penelope Featherington and Colin Bridgerton story. Technically, it is the 4th book in this series.
Yeah, isn't it like based on Romancing Mr. Bridgerton? Or
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
And I guess in the grand scheme of things, she's a spinster 3 years into the marriage cycle. But in the books, I guess it's 10 years. I haven't read the books. I know that they differ a lot. But we're finally getting the friends to lovers plot. I love Penelope. Nicola McLaughlin is gorgeous. She's smart. She's pretty. Deserves all of the love as a not skinny actress in this business.
Oh,
I love her
her
so
in Dairy
much.
Girls
Oh
so
my
much.
God.
I love Derry Girls so much. She was really
With her
she's
real
so good.
accent.
Yes.
Well, no, that's not a real accent for her. That was what's it called
It's
for
the-
Dairy Girls. She
Oh, yeah,
faked
she-
that.
She
Yeah,
auditioned. She auditioned using Nadine Coyle's accent.
Mhm.
Oh,
in order to
yeah.
get that dairy accent.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
because the major audition, the major part of that audition is like, can you do a Derry accent? And she,
Yeah, that's what she based her accent in the show off of, which is great.
yeah,
she's still Irish though.
Yeah, no,
She
like,
is Irish, but just not
that
from,
particular accent that she has in
Right.
Dairy Girls
Yeah,
is not
she's
her.
from
Yeah.
Galway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Also, season 3 is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
yay.
loosely based on
Mostly based, yes.
loosely based on Romancing Bridgerton. But for the first 4 episodes, I was so excited. And it's a great first 4 episodes. I think what the 2 things that kind of really stuck in my craw a bit was, the first one is Colin has been oblivious like their entire friendship. The first 2 seasons, like Colin, Mr. Oblivious Bridgerton, and like nothing, did not realize everyone was telling him in subtle ways, Penelope likes you. And then he dissed her at the end of the last season where he's like, I would never court Penelope.
I saw the clip of that,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
It's like, you mother.
You miss me, but you would never caught me. Is that it?
The way I relate the way I relate, because F Colin Bridgerton. So that's the number one thing. There was not enough groveling.
He needs to grovel at her feet.
There was not enough, like, pining, because you had and this is why I liked the last season, because I love enemies to lovers.
Yes!
More than I like friends to lovers.
Oh, same.
And that's because first of all, Jonathan Bailey can have chemistry with a brick wall.
Damn.
No, that's absolutely fair. Like, have you seen? He has like a smolder.
Yes, and it's just like no one has beaten out of all 3 seasons so far. I guess more like 2.5. No one has beaten his. Like, the feral way. Like, Colin is not sniffing the air after Penelope walks by.
That's because he doesn't know how to... My
he
God.
has no game.
Damn.
And yet...
I mean, most of the women that he has sex with are prostitutes. Like, let's be real here. At least on the show, right?
Yeah.
But and so that was the one thing. There was just not enough pining,
go.
Not enough pining, not enough feral activity. It just was not enough.
There's no passion.
I would argue there is a lot of pining, but on the part of Penelope. Like, Penelope is pining, he's not pining enough.
He's staring at her like, oh. And I guess spoilers, because if you haven't watched it by now, then that's, by the time you listen to it, that's your fault.
Oh.
If you haven't watched it within a week, what are you even doing?
If you haven't seen, like, everyone screaming about, like, what happened, like, where are you?
Right? Exactly. So she, like, begged, and so dramatic, because she was like, kiss me, Colin. I might die single and a spinster. I might die tomorrow. You're not going to die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. I'm like, girl. It just reminded me of, Daddy, I love him. Ariel, you're 16 years old.
I'm 16 years old, Daddy.
I'm a woman. I mean, I guess in those times you are. But, and then the second thing that really got me was it was just so much emphasis on, like, the side characters. So I feel like we didn't get enough, and at least in this portion, because obviously there's a whole other 4 more episodes coming out in a month, but like there was more build up to side characters, like the Mondriches, even though I do like Mondriches, and then Violet possibly laying the groundwork for Violet hooking up with Lady Danbury's brother. I'm with it. But it's just, I would have liked more scenes with Colin and Penelope, like, more scenes of them, like, the almost touches, or, like, the looks, and him helping her with courting whoever they need to court.
To be fair, I think it would have been hard for Colin and Penelope to match up to the way that, freaking Kate Sharma and Anthony Bridgerton, even so much as looked at each other, like, in season 2. Like, that was sizzling. So you had season 1, which is, like, knocking boots on every surface. Oh, yeah.
And then, like, season 2, where it was just a lot of intensity.
Yes.
So, season 1 is intense in a different way, but season 2 is intense in, like, emotion, and, like, so I was just expecting that some level of it didn't have to be.
You were expecting more of, like, I burn for you, and like, you are the bane of my existence
Not
vibes.
necessarily, like, that, because obviously their story is enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
But it's more like...
Why not just a little bit?
More like right? Like, the last episode, there was a carriage scene that I was screaming because... Finally, right? But then I'm just like, okay. So I'm waiting for because through my best friend, Janae, I do know that there is a mirror scene going to be happening.
I've heard.
And,
they've also allegedly broken a piece of furniture while filming.
Yes.
Damn.
Oh, yes.
So I might rewatch it. It's only 4 episodes. I was able to get it in, but I'm like, Jesus. Oh my. But it ended, I will say, what I did like about it is that it ended on a note where it ended on a good type of cliffhanger, where it's just like, okay, this is an acceptable place to stop. But now it's like, are Luke and Nicola dating? Because their fan service is too great. It's too.
I think they
great.
just know how to play with to the camera.
Oh yeah, I know it's 1000% fan service, but it's just like it's so good.
They've been very cute in the interviews,
Right? But then it's Shonda's fault because Shonda knows, or at least her team, because I don't know how much she had in picking the cast, but she knows how to put 2 people together for great chemistry, to the point where we all think they're together. I mean, Kerry Washington and Tony Goldwyn from Scandal are the number one, where you're just like, these two, I feel like these two actually might have had an affair, but they are both married to other people.
Yes.
But the way he worships the ground she walks on, like the way he looks at her whenever she's in a room, I'm like, this man, if he wasn't married, he'd be ruining her house and home. Like, I firmly believe this.
Oh God.
Him and Andrew Lincoln, because the way he looks at Denai, that's just can't be. That has to be more than fan service. Which I have not watched the new Walking Dead, and then I can move on to something else. But I do want to see the return of Andrew Lincoln and why he came back, because we all thought he was dead, and it was like, haha, just kidding. I just abandoned my girlfriend and my 2 children. in a fake explosion, and now I'm back as some type of mercenary soldier for a group of walking killers and pseudo government things.
Oh my God.
So I'm very interested. Apparently he was brainwashed. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
You just took us down like a million Bridgerton.
I just need more smut. But the second half, I'm hoping, and I also hope in the next part that Eloise and Penelope rekindle their friendship, because Eloise found out last season that she was Lady Whistledown, and not to victim blame or whatever, but Eloise was doing shit last season that she shouldn't have been doing, and Penelope was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You're a lady of the times. You know you're not supposed to be by yourself around a man without a chaperone. You know you're not supposed to be doing all this stuff or meeting with the pores.
Yes, the pores.
The pores.
Oh God. The pause.
The pores. And so Penelope wrote an article, wrote her in the Lady Whistledown, kind of lambasting her to get her to stop, and then she finds out and their friendship is over. But I'm hoping that they rekindle their friendship.
I mean, it sounds like Eloise needs to, kind of get over herself a little bit.
Oh, she's so... Oh, and she's doing the same shit, and I know I'm, dragging this out, because there is, a actual purpose that we're all here today, to talk about the Great British Adventure, but now she's doing the same shit to Cressida, and I'm just like, you're not listening, you're not, being a true friend and caring about the fact that, hey, we're not all rich and privileged and pretty like you, who doesn't have to worry about, even if you don't get married, your brothers are going to make sure you're taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have shitty parents, you don't have a shitty family, and, a lot of people don't, hence Penelope. And I think in another world, if they didn't see them as competition, Cressida and Penelope could be friends. And maybe that is also something that can happen by the end of this season, but I'm not hopeful. And then they didn't reintroduce the sister Francesca.
Yeah, I heard she was introduced, she was presented.
Yes, and she's on the spectrum, so it's 2 autistic people in love. Even though I heard even though I was spoiled and find out that her love interest eventually died.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
And
Spoiler alert.
these books have been out for a while,
Well,
Tabrizia.
Well, things can change.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But her book is basically she falls in love. They're very autism coded at least on the show. And so she falls in love with John Sterling. They do get married. I think they're married or they either do get married and they're together for a year or two, or right after they get married, he dies. Either way, he dies. And his cousin swoops in and marries her, tries to woo her, and like they're both grieving, but he's been in love with the cousin has been in love with her since they first met. Blah 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 blah. So I just feel bad. I don't really want to read that sad ass book, to be honest.
No, one of my friends was just like, one of my friends was saying like, I really love Francesca. She's like arrow ace coded, and I'm just like, wow. Like for that period in time, I'm just like, I need to see this.
I don't think it's necessarily arrow ace. I genuinely think that she's on the spectrum in some, just the way she's coded, like doesn't like the, I guess you can also call it being introverted, but there's something extra there. There's
a general disinterest in like,
general disinterest, hyper focus on this certain hobby, which is the pianoforte, and then lastly, and I really will move on. all the guys trying to talk to her, other than John Sterling, are freaking ugly.
Oh my god.
They're so ugly. And then they talk to her like, what's your desires? I'm like, she's 17 years old. Ew.
oh my god.
And you guys are probably all in your 20s, because, and no one likes to talk about that age gap, because I guess in the book, Penelope is 18, 19, but Colin is 30. I'm like, okay. Age gap couple.
Age gap.
Yes. So I'm moving on from that.
But we will never move on.
We'll never move on.
But at least not until next. Ooh, no, it'll be coming out for our next stint. It'll
already have been out.
No, it won't be.
No,
It'll come out right before.
Yeah.
Rats.
But we can talk about a rewatch.
But you're still on because you also because you still have to talk about the Anti-Prom.
Oh my god. Can I talk about Shogun instead?
Actually, I did finish it. Did you finish it?
I finished it.
Oh, okay, tell me.
I was expecting the ending to be different.
Apparently,
I didn't read I know it's truthful to the book.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
It's faithful to the books.
I don't know the books. I don't know the original series either. I still haven't watched that. But how did you like the ending?
I'm just can we do spoilers?
Yes, it's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's fine. I was just mad that I'm mad that Mariko died, even though
I know.
I'm mad that she died. Mad that they basically entrapped him there, because he's never going to be allowed to leave.
No, he's not. And there was like a fantasy sequence where you see him way older and talking to his grandkids, but of course that never happened. He never went back. Apparently the guy it's based on never went back either.
But I'm like, where did his children, where are his children? Because his children are like, he has a daughter that he left.
Oh, yeah. Vaguely remember that.
Because in like one of the first episodes, he's like, oh yeah, I have a daughter in London.
I forgot about that,
like,
actually.
Can you at least get a letter out? Let your child know?
Hopefully.
But I cinematically or cinematography, blah, 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 beautiful.
Gorgeous. Costume design. Gorgeous.
Amazing. Who has watched Ninja Assassin, the movie?
The movie? No, I haven't.
Okay. So, I like Rain, aka
I was about to ask, like, is this the one with Rain?
Yes. So, for the...
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen clips of this. I have not seen this movie, though.
I have it on DVD because I love Rain, but also I love that movie. And so, Mariko plays his love interest in Ninja Assassin. And
She's so good.
She's amazing. I was just like, I knew her face looked familiar, and now she looks 12 in Ninja Assassin. Well, that movie is like 15 years old now, I think.
Yeah, 2009.
Oh.
God, I forgot what Rain looked like.
I'll have to look it up.
I could talk about Rain all day. Another time. But she played his love interest, one of his love interests, because it's not Naomi Campbell. The black girl from 28 Days Later.
Oh wait, are you talking about from the film Ninja Assassins?
Yes.
Naomi Harris.
Thank you.
Oh,
Naomi Harris. She's kind of like, it's like a Jet Li, Aaliyah situation where they have attraction to each other, but nothing ever happens.
Oh, do you not know this Jet Li film?
Romeo must
Romeo must die. God, I forgot about that movie.
Man, I miss Aaliyah so much. But getting back to Shogun, and then I will try to talk a little bit about Anti-Prom, is I thought there was... It's more political intrigue, and that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So you're not... I was expecting, like, the epic battle to actually happen, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just more like a foretold thing. And I couldn't really understand why the queen... or like the mother of the heir, why she was warring initially with Tokunaga or whatever, the main guy.
Oh. No,
That didn't
I
really
thought you were
make
going to
sense
ask
to me.
between her and Mariko, but I guess no.
Yeah, but everyone, it's just a lot about self-sacrifice and what that looks like for that time period. But
Do you think there was too much of it, to be honest? It almost seemed stereotypical. It's like every other person is committing suicide.
Damn.
like
There was a lot of it. Everyone was threatening to. If they didn't do it, they were threatening to.
yeah, it was just a lot of
But
like
maybe
about honor and shame,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
like betrayal.
It's a big part.
But I was very surprised that he, except like the main guy, Tokunaga,
Yeah.
had his second in command commit seppuku.
Isn't that crazy?
I was just like, for why?
I know. That to me killed me. I was like, oh man.
Dude, I'm gonna sound terrible to say this,
Yeah.
but I laughed when the sun fell.
Oh, and wasn't that the weirdest way to die? For me, it was totally weird. Like, it came out of nowhere. Like, it was almost like an accident, I guess. I mean, it was an accident.
It was an accident because he slipped and trying to murder his uncle, which I knew when he showed up. I was like, this motherfucker is totally...
Yeah.
And I'm like cussing, and my mom's gonna listen to this later. But I knew...
Sorry, Mom.
Right? I knew that when they met up with him and the uncle in the woods, I was like, something seems fishy.
It was not, yeah.
And I don't know. I know we're viewers and we watch stuff and like pattern recognition, but it always annoys me when like you're watching something and it's so obvious that the betrayal is coming. Like, why are you trusting this person?
Yeah.
And they don't see it. I'm just like, or no one does ask questions or follows up, and I'm almost like, what are you, and that's the worst when it's like police procedurals. Because I'm just like, are you not police officers? Why are you not asking questions? But I'm like, but overall, I give the series.
Yeah, what do you give it?
I give it a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
fair. I would
Yeah.
give like 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Yeah,
Because I just, like you, I think that the too much self-sacrificing.
there was a lot of self-sacrifice. Maybe that's how the book was, but I think Mariko was great. Like, I really loved her character. I felt like the whole series was kind of building up to the big war or something like that, so it kind of was almost a little bit of a letdown. Like, I wanted to see the epic battle scene. You know? But it kind of didn't happen. But I mean, that's okay. It's different. It's not, I'm not mad at it. It's just different.
I mean, I wouldn't watch it again, but like, I think for the fact that it's a miniseries, it was produced. A lot of like the majority of the people were Japanese. It was made by Japanese, and it wasn't a white savior situation.
Apparently, the original series is very focused on Blackthorn. So some people's criticism of the new one is that Blackthorn is just like a side character. He's not even the main but
Yeah.
apparently he was before. But
I like how
he just made it.
I wonder how quickly he learned at least the basic phrases.
Oh yeah. I think in the original series they say he never really learned it that well at all.
Oh my
They say,
God.
but that's not very believable, right? Because if you're in a place, in another country,
You
you're
would
gonna
pick
pick up
something
something.
up,
You'll
yeah.
pick something.
Yeah.
You can have.
I
a
mean, he
conversation.
does though. Like,
Yeah, but this one did. In the series we watched, yeah.
Well, sometimes what are they called? Not patriots. When they go to another country, I mean they're immigrants, but they don't call Americans.
Oh,
expats.
expats.
Expats. They'll go to a whole other country and never learn the language.
That's
So-
true. They stay in a community of people like themselves, but black had that. It didn't have that option.
Yeah.
There was no one.
Well, unless he wanted to war with the Portuguese.
I wanted more of the Portuguese. Weren't
Same.
they kind of crazy?
I wanted to know more about like the fortress too.
I wanted to know more about the Catholicism and like the beef, and then I wanted more of that. But maybe it's in this book, you know. They have to cut to something.
I won't ever read this book. But it was a good show. I think it deserves all the awards.
Yes.
If it gets nominated.
Yes.
And then speaking of
Sure.
that, The Bear is coming back next month.
I did see
I'm so excited.
I did see the commercial for that because I was like, what else FX is gonna do? Because
But it keeps getting because it's 30 minutes. It keeps getting nominated for the comedy thing.
Wait,
and
which one? The bear?
the
The
bear.
Bear. It keeps
yeah.
getting nominated in the comedies thing.
Like, yeah.
Category
Mhm.
because it's 30 minutes, but I'm just like,
It's not a
it's
comedy.
not
It's not comedy.
it is tragedy and pain the whole time. But I'm excited to see.
It's a dramedy. No.
So we can talk about it in our July session.
Yes.
But okay, moving on to Anti-Prom. So for those of you that don't know, this is kind of going against our rules of talking about work, but
Well, you did mention it like the last two
You-
podcasts. I
yeah,
believe.
you
it's
did.
fine. As long as no one at work. So
Yeah.
I was about to say no one's
she
listening.
was.
Someone is
She
listening.
was.
My mother will listen.
Someone
She thinks we're silly.
Yay.
So we do this party for teens. The May 3rd was the Staten Island. Staten Island Anti-Prom.
Where do they hold them?
At the branches.
Just
At the branches.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. That team is an interesting team. Lots of
Be careful.
chaotic
Be careful.
energy.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I was gonna say someone
Individuality.
is listening.
I feel like individuality is the best
names,
way to
I know. I
describe
feel
that
like
team.
I'm just always reminded that my job is still steeped in customer service. It's just
Yes.
that the people that I work with are now the customers and all that entails. And like with customer service, you get good and bad. But either way, it was a lovely event. We had DJ Gregory Wilson come. He did last year as well. He's an amazing hype person. We had 85 teens, which I'm kind of salty about because Bronx Anti-Prom had 84.
Just one short.
Just one short.
I'm gonna grab someone off the street.
I know we're all just one happy.
It's called kidnapping.
I know we're all just one happy little
Branch.
community, but the Bronx is where it's at all
Of
day.
course.
And
Yes.
I think that we can. I feel redeemed because last Friday, yesterday, May 17th, because by the time this airs, it will be probably a week or two after.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we got redeemed for Bronx Anti-Prom
Yeah.
because it was the last time we had it last year. It was the
poor air quality.
the
incident.
forest fires.
The wildfires that were
And
happening in
Canada.
Canada.
And when
yeah.
we got trapped in Chicago. We don't want to talk about that. but-
I call it the Chicago incident because I'm like,
Oh,
I will every time I love Chicago. Nothing against Chicago. Chicago was a great city. It was just the traveling coming back from Chicago, I feel like all my anger is like towards American Airlines, and that's an entire
Which is fair.
That's an entire episode on its own, because I can tell so many stories about American Airlines. But please do go on.
But so last year, the air quality, plus I think partially the location, despite how pretty it was, it went so well. We had it at a branch that, admittedly, I didn't think was going to work because it's so awkwardly shaped.
Yeah.
The dance floor was not too much bigger than the room we're in right now, but the kids loved it. I think our hype person who works in HR at our jobs really made that night, and I love her to death. I just like anytime you want to be the MC for Bronx Anti-Prom, it's you, because she got the kids on the dance floor, and kids don't like to dance.
No, they don't.
They don't want to be in but it's.
Then,
they were definitely teenagers in that room, and all that is implied. I was like, oh, it's hot and.
And one time she started like saying like, "You get a job, you get a job, you get a job."
This
I'm
was
like,
that last 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't. You can't promise them that.
That's wild.
Well, when we weren't worrying about money.
Yeah, exactly.
What are consequences?
Oh no, it's the consequences of my actions.
Like, you specifically can get a job.
Exactly.
But it was cute. The quiet space, we bought puzzles and had coloring and decorated tote bags, and then the other areas had like video games and photo booth, and it worked, and it was a better well-oiled machine. I do feel the way that certain people flaked last minute, but that's certain people who flaked, especially when certain people who flaked reached out to me being like, "Hi, is it too late to work this event?"
Oh my god.
And then
And
you
everything's
flaked,
already done?
and then you flaked.
That's
I'm like,
the joy
Oh,
of working in
that's
customer service.
and then you flake, okay, and then you don't show up after you emailed me to make sure that you were on the list.
That's what I'm saying. That's messed up.
It
Because I'm
really
like, if you get called in and
I'm
you
like-
flake, that's different.
Yeah. But I'm like, no, you reached out to me wanting to be a part of this, and then you don't show up. Which, I mean, I put this person in a different area, then so it wouldn't be a big loss if they didn't show up. But it's just like, really. But hopefully this person won't find this podcast. But I feel like they're too oblivious to know what's
But
about
to be
them.
fair, you also didn't name names, so if they do figure it out, that's on them.
Exactly.
And then they know they fucked up too. So.
And if they're like so conceited, they think like, this is about me. It's like, I didn't name
Is
you.
this me? Is it nothing play about us? The one thing from Euphoria that I know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was a wonderful event. We're 2 down. We have 1 more to go in June. And that's going to be a bigger animal than either of these. We normally get like 300 to 500
Wow.
attendees. So,
Yeah, it's a
but
lot.
if you're interested, if you know any kids, let me know. And that sounded weird.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, I don't think there's a proper way to
We-
respond to that one.
Don't know.
You don't know any kids.
I have nieces and nephews, and that's about it.
Exactly. You know kids who would be interested in partying in Manhattan.
That sounds
No,
nice.
Why don't we move on?
No, you know what, wait. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me like back in high school when they used to give out like the little flyers to the underage clubbing. Did anybody else get this?
Yes, I did.
What is this?
Yeah, that was a thing that I remember.
Wait, what did they do? In
So basically,
school?
they would they would like high school. So you know, what like early 2000 whatever 4 to 8, and like they would like be some club promoters that would like show up around schools handing out flyers, and it's like come party, and it's like only like teenage party.
Yeah.
And it's like anyone 14 to 18,
yeah.
Come to this club. Yeah.
We used to have those in Rochester, actually, and I went to 1 or 2.
I always thought it was shady as fuck. Because
Oh,
it's like, come to this
no.
club in
Come on.
Flushing. I'm like,
Like-
I'm not going to fucking
Well,
Flushing. Like,
well,
Rochester is not.
Yeah, because like first of all, it was like
Queens.
some pervy guys hanging around like
Oh,
a
it wasn't
Catholic
like
school.
that at all.
No, it was for us. it was weird. So, I
they're
was like,
just trying
oh
to
no.
traffic you.
oh, yeah, probably.
basically.
Like, I had a few friends who went to some, and they were just like, yeah, no, it's kind of boring, actually. So we left within, like, at the first 20 minutes. I was like, why'd you even go? why did that not send any warning bells to you?
Wow. In my day, it was all ages shows for bands. So
Oh, okay.
you can just hang out and go to the show.
Yeah.
See, that sounds more fun than, like,
Yeah.
a mysterious flyer popping up on the bus, and it's like, hey, kids.
Kind of like
No.
bottle service. What does bottle service look like?
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
exactly. It's like,
milk
mhm.
juice.
This is just fruit punch.
Here, right? Like, here's a liter of cola
Yeah.
for $50.
And why do you do that anyway? You just have your friend who has a nice big house.
But
go
that's the
party
point.
at
Like,
this.
that's
what
why
we do.
it's
That's what we
it
do.
felt so shady.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Well, thank you.
And
As always.
I bring the laughs.
Of course you do. Next up we have Evelyn, who has to talk about something called Three Body Problem, which I think is a Netflix.
It is a
It
Netflix
was
show.
also originally
yeah.
a book, yes.
It was originally a book.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes.
You know what? This is the section of book. I realize it's not the section of books, and I only put books down.
It's
Well,
fine. It just says what's new with everyone. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's true. Yeah.
We didn't divide it
So
this
you-
time.
I didn't pay attention.
You read a book, and that's what's new with you.
No, I did
No,
read
she
some
watched
books.
she watched the show.
No, I watched some movies too, but I didn't put them down here because we were on that flight that takes like
Oh.
3 hours. This is why I actually was reading. You know, what are you gonna do in the flight? You're gonna read. You're gonna watch a movie.
You go to sleep. What do you mean?
I tried,
you
and
wanna-
I couldn't.
We will talk
I can't
about
sleep
that
on
in
a
a
Hang on.
I don't jump the gun, but
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm talking about Three Body Problem, it's a science fiction book. I'm not sure if anyone here is a sci-fi fan, but
No.
in this
I know of it.
particular book is very heavy on the science, and
Yeah.
to the point where there's entire paragraphs that's talking about like solar system equations and that kind of like very specific kind of knowledge. And
This,
like, whoa.
Nope, I'm out.
No,
That's
this-
too much.
If I recall correctly, like Three Body Problem was like really made the rounds like as a book because it was on several reader lists. Like I don't know who someone praised it highly,
Oh,
and I cannot remember on whose list it
like
was.
a famous author?
No, not a famous
Like
author. Like
Reese or Obama.
Obama, yes. I feel like it was an Obama thing.
Maybe
like
it was.
where because he always releases like his book lists at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, one of the first Google like things that pops up for Three Body Problem is the Three Body Problem a hard read?
Oh, it is.
That is one of the first things that pops up.
It is a very hard read, but it is. I read it all the way through. I did finish it.
Oh, cool.
I guess I don't want to talk spoilers, but aliens are involved, guys.
It's always
I mean, you say sci-fi, I always assume
You
aliens.
assume okay, yeah. Alien civilization.
In
There's
space.
Not in space, actually. We're on Earth, but there is a faction of people. I don't know how you guys feel. There's philosophy in it too. So there's a lot of philosophy, a lot of science. But the philosophy was that certain people on
Become
Earth
aliens?
thought that the civilization is so screwed. They're like human civilization is so screwed that we would welcome the aliens to take us over or eliminate
You know
us.
what? No, that sounds
Isn't that interesting?
very plausible.
So, like, I'm not gonna do a round here, but I would be curious to know which side you fall on in that terms. Like, oh, would you, if there was an alien civilization that was advanced, would you say yes, they should take us over because you're obviously smarter than us and we're destroying ourselves, or would we actually fight them?
Now,
Because-
see, I've seen the way those movies end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Like 20 years down the line,
Independence Day.
suddenly we're all manufacturing things and didn't realize it.
Or we're living in the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I know that's robots.
Yeah, no, so there was like that kind of side to it too, and some people were on that side, and then you see it from their point of view of why they wanted to side with the aliens and have them,
Yeah.
destroy the planet, or have, send a message that says, yes, take us over, or, destroy us all. But, it's very good. I would say it's very good. How many stars? Maybe 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
For a
And it-
difficult book, that's
Put
not
it,
bad.
Yeah,
put it,
it
at,
really
put
is.
it at an 8 or 9 if you're a sci-fi fan. You
But
probably
would
should
you
read it.
reread it?
I don't reread a lot of books.
I was like, could you
That's not.
reread
Yeah, actually, maybe with more of a background, I could and be like, I understand this more. Or something. But it takes a lot. Yeah, you'd have to look into some physics and some things for what they're discussing. It's not like
you have several citation papers.
Exactly. It's not a beach read. You're not going to relax when you're reading it. But I do recommend it if you're a sci-fi fan. And I guess I'll have to check out the show. There's the Netflix show, and then I heard that there's another show that's better that was done. Like I guess it's a Chinese version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard that one's better than the Netflix one.
Interesting.
And then I can segue into a graphic novel, which is very readable, and which was recommended by Tabrizia, called The Great British Bump Off by John Allison, I guess. Is there co-authors there?
The illustrator is Max Sarin. He also helped him do Giant Days, which is John Allison's most popular best-selling series.
Days.
It's amazing.
I don't know why I thought that series was written by a woman.
It has that vibe.
I think one of the illustrators or the colorists is a woman, but it is mainly.
I think it was popular amongst like women.
Because
it didn't have like it has a certain energy to it that was very.
It's described as an Agatha Christie style. What's called like murder mystery.
Yeah, it is.
So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you get that
Bake
vibe.
Off with a mystery element.
And I interviewed John about the Great British Bump Off, and he was afraid that the producers of the show would come after him. He's like,
no, that's
it does take a lot of the not characters, but the hosts are obviously have the match. You know, like this is obviously like Paul Hollywood or whatever. But
but no, I mean, he said it was in good turn because he was like, it's just a spin of it, but not
parody is what is it called?
It's protected.
Protected.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking at some of the images, and that's very clearly Paul Hollywood.
If you look at it, and the Prue, not Prue,
it's
Mary
Berry.
But anything by John Allison he's hilarious, and he always brings this the humor in everything, and it's just a very heartwarming, and also a good mystery along with it because even though you can, I don't want to say it's predictable, but you are going along with it, trying to figure out who the culprit is, but you're also having a fun old time, just like you do with the TV show The Great British.
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of Great British Bake Off, then for sure.
You're
going to see a lot of what you see. It has the same challenges. Yeah. The art is so cute, what they draw.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so then finally we're gonna cap off this feature with Chris, who's going to talk about Ebony Gate.
Yes, so this is a novel that I started reading, and I'm going to keep this short because I have been struggling with this book.
Ooh.
It is by Julie V. and Ken Bebelle. So it's two authors who wrote this book, and there's moments while I'm reading this where it feels like something got lost between them, where there'll be something is written a little bit more clear than other times, but also because it focuses so much on knowledge of Chinese, Korean, and Japanese terms, mythologies, and all that combined, it kind of makes my head spin a little bit because I'm I don't know what I'm supposed to be keeping track of right now.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the words, some of the terms that they use also go without explanations for pages. So I'm just I can infer what it means, but I would actually like a glossary of what the hell you're trying to tell me right now. And I'm just I want to finish this book because it feels like the story is interesting.
How did you hear about it?
Tessa.
Oh.
It's from
Is it a translated book?
No, it's not.
No, it's not translated.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're just supposed to know.
No, that's what I'm saying. For instance, they there's magic involved in this series, and one of the ways that they call it is talent, right? And I'm that's cool, that's fine. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about until maybe halfway through another paragraph, and I'm just all right.
They'll just let people publish anything, won't they?
Again, the story feels it's good. It feels interesting. There's several red herrings already set up. There's a deal with a death god happening in the first few chapters. So I'm this is right up my alley. I wish the writing was just a little bit clearer.
So I'm looking on Amazon, and you might be appealed to this, and it's saying that the book is a female John Wick story with dragon magic set in contemporary San Francisco's Chinatown.
Yeah.
That's too much going on.
Okay.
2 out of 3, but not all.
You had me with John Wick, and then you lost me at the rest of it. Claiming it's John Wick. There's nothing. He's mystical in the fact that he doesn't die until he wanted to, basically.
Until he felt like, you know what, I'm good here.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, there's so much going on in this book, and I'm like, it feels like it's an interesting story. It's taking me so much.
How thick is it?
It's not that thick.
Oh.
Like, compared to some of the other ones that I've read, it's not that thick. It just, the language, the way that they wrote it just makes me kind of go,
Or are you gonna finish it? Or...
Oh yeah, okay. I'm planning to.
You always finish every book you start.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
There was one. Was it the one of Lions? No, it was written by Lions. What the hell is it called?
Oh, The Ruin of Kings.
The Ruin of Kings. I started reading that book, and I got maybe a chapter, and I was like, this feels like a George R.R. Martin knockoff, and I can barely get through a George R.R. Martin book.
You haven't?
No.
Stop
He
it.
doesn't.
Well, I mean, he has to like first completing the series, and then maybe people will get be able to get through it.
I read all of them except the last one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no one's gonna read the last one.
To be fair, like I have a
No, the
strict.
most recent, I should say.
Oh.
The last one.
I was like, no one's gonna read it. I think this is
That's
his
never
greatest
coming
plan.
out.
I don't
It's
think
never-
he's ever
never.
gonna make it.
Never coming out.
No.
No, he's super old. Unless he entrusts his, and he doesn't have children. So unless he entrusts his estate to someone, it's never.
No.
Unless God forbid anytime soon. But when he does die, it's whoever inherits his estate can do
something.
do the James Patterson thing. But then we just don't want it to be like Dune, where
Somebody's just gonna pick it up and keep going with it.
for no reason. I'm like, he turned the great grandson or whoever turned into a giant worm. Where can we go from here? And married his sister. Like, where can we go from here?
Oh God.
Where can we go from
Not
here?
again.
Just really quickly, I would like to mention that I've also been rewatching Samurai Champloo again.
Yay!
And it's been so long since I've seen it.
I have it on DVD.
Oh yeah, I got it on Blu-ray and DVD, but I'm like, oh no, just Blu-ray, sorry. But it's been so long since I've actually sat there and like rewatched it that I'm picking up so much more information than I did the first time around. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. A part of this was about, Europeans in Japan and them trying to chase them out along with the Catholicism.
Yes.
Yep, I forgot that was a part of the plot.
But one of the best scenes of Samurai Champloo, and then we can move on, is the last episode where Jin defeats his fellow student.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the
That wanted
fellow students
revenge.
or whatever, yeah.
And he's just like coming up the hill after a victory. I'm like, this is cinema. But
Yeah,
also,
truly.
like, Jin
But-
is my favorite character.
Mugen.
We'll agree to
All
disagree.
right. Fine. We'll agree that Samurai Champloo is a great show.
Yeah.
Great way to cap off that topic.
Yeah.
So, the main topic of this episode is journeys and traveling, because Evelyn and I recently took a trip to the United Kingdom. But before we talk about that amazing Great British Adventure, we do want to talk about a little something that was happening in New York that gave us gave people a chance to see another city across the pond. But unfortunately,
People are people.
people are people. If you not have heard, this is the York-Dublin Portal. It was a portal that allowed New Yorkers and Dubliners to be able to see each other through a web link. And this portal was at 23rd Street and I want to say near the Flatiron Building. I forget what's that cross street. It's like 23rd and...
Broadway, maybe?
Broadway, yes. 23rd and Broadway. So, yes, it was going well, but then unfortunately because of people being people, they had to shut it down because so they can reevaluate and try to figure out the security concerns.
Yo, I saw a TikTok of this woman on the American side,
of course,
unfortunately, lifting up her top.
Yes.
I saw that one. I saw that clip too. I was like, of course they did.
There was a bunch of back and forth. On
Yeah.
the Dublin side,
Yeah.
they were showing porn on their cell phone.
Oh yeah, and then on the
Transparent.
the Dublin side, they were showing images from 9/11.
Oh yeah, that.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm
Images
like,
from
All
9/11.
right, yeah, that'll do it.
We can't have nothing nice.
Yeah.
It's it was at 23rd Street, 5th Avenue, and Broadway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like, I thought it was. I would have liked to seen it, but of course, it always takes one person or a group of people to ruin it for everyone, because it would have been a cool attraction, and maybe I don't know, is it installed permanently into the ground?
I believe so.
I
Yes.
believe
I would
so.
say moving it to like a museum or something, so you can't really.
I think that would be the best
Well, different
bet.
caliber of people.
Well, because I was looking up like where it was in Dublin, and it is
It's
in
like on one of their main streets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I visited Dublin, I recall that area, and it's a big shopping district, so I can understand why they wanted to put there.
Move it. You don't want to be whatever, but like move it in front of like the courthouse.
Like
No.
Parliament.
Yeah, move it in front of like City
City
Hall.
Hall, yeah, like City Hall.
Yeah, City
One
Hall.
Police
One
Plaza.
Police Plaza.
Oh God.
Most likely, yeah.
I mean, that's the only other way to maybe deter it, because you can't
You
put
can't.
someone. Yeah,
Because
but
it runs 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
it does.
Somebody's gonna find some time to do
Exactly.
something stupid.
Yeah. So no, I agree, because it was supposed to be. It was like an art installation,
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
feel like it would be better if it was near somewhere where it could be always monitored at all times, or in a museum. So then, like, people are able to view. They'll be able to control what people are doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
in some
And it
form.
sucks because it has to be. It almost has to be on 24/7, because when it's day here, it's night over there.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Mhm.
So to have it on our end shut off at like 6 p.m. when some of their days are just starting, or like they're asleep by then. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why putting it in the museum would also defeat the purpose.
True.
It is true. Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, unless you put it like outside the building, like
Someone would
on the
have to
outside
probably
of the
be
museum.
posted
Yeah,
up.
somebody
Yeah.
would still have to be posted. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not our job to figure
I
it
No,
out.
it's not. Neither one of us. No one here has a city planning
No.
degree.
I mean, a lot of city planning makes sense to a normal people. It's the city planners that create things that, why would you do this? This benefits no one. And obviously you don't live here. Obviously you don't live here. Hence why we have a highway down the middle of the Bronx.
Oh my god. That's another episode topic.
Briefly, and we can definitely move on. So, circling back for 1 minute, I went for Bronx Anti-Prom. I have a car, and I drove there, but at like 1 o'clock in the don't look at me like that, Patricia. I drove anyway.
But what's wrong with driving?
Because it's the Cross Bronx Expressway. You do not drive the cross. It is hard. It's the
I'm not
worst.
saying
I drive at 1 in the morning. It's not going to be crazy at 1 in the morning.
You do a cab.
Let me
you don't put
finish.
yourself through that.
Let me finish. So where I live in the Bronx. Tabrizia and I live in the Bronx, and it's a 10-15 minute car ride. I did not get on the Cross Bronx. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was looking for parking because I don't have to get on the expressway to get to where I was going, but to get on parking was horrendous, right? So I looped around the oval, the Metropolitan Oval, and I got turned around, and so I ended up on the opposite side. I was on the street that I needed to be on, but I was like, oh, finally parking, but forgot that there was a highway separating where I needed to be. So I had to walk all the way. But luckily it wasn't too far, but I still had to walk around, like where that McDonald's is.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But yeah, and it was okay when I left at like 9:30, 9:45, but I was just like, stupid highway, stupid mayor person who made this happen. I hope you are rolling in your grave if you're dead. And with that, it's the Tabrizia and Evelyn show.